Hello.
Hi, sorry, I could have. Sorry about the email.
No worries. No worries.
How are you?
How are you?
So good. How are y'all?
Really good. Oh my God, your accent's amazing. I love that accent.
Thank you. I love y'all.
Where are you from?
Too.
Is it Florida you're from?
Yes, I am. Sorry. I keep looking behind me because I have this little.
Oh,
Oh
hello.
my gosh. Oh, what's his name?
His name is Wiggum.
That's a
Oh
cool
my
name.
God, how cute.
Is it a
What
puppy?
dog is it?
No, he's a year and 9 months old.
Amazing.
Oh, how
Yeah,
sweet.
he's the best.
How cute.
Amazing.
CC, just before we get into this, do we call you CC or is it Chelsea? We're not too sure.
So my channel is called CC Suarez. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
No one from my real life calls me that. So my name is
Okay.
Chelsea.
Okay, fab.
Chelsea,
That's
okay,
good to
because
know.
we don't want to refer you as CC all the time and then you're like, who is
Yeah,
this?
no.
Chelsea. Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Love your top.
Oh, thank
Pants
you.
of bullshit. That's great.
Yeah,
You know,
thanks.
funny thing is, actually, we were going to call this podcast "It's a Load of Bullshit," so that's quite fitting. We just we changed our minds. But no, super welcome to Goodbye MLM, Hello Freedom. This really is such an honor. I in particular have been looking at your content for a good few months. It's helped me so much with breaking away from the MLM industry. I was the typical person, so sucked in, so brainwashed, all the above, as you can imagine. And thank God I saw out of it, and your content really helped. So firstly, just wanted to start off and say thank you.
Yeah, thank you, definitely.
Yeah, no, really means the world. But we just really wanted to sort of start off and ask you really why you started making this content. I know briefly that I don't believe you got involved in one before, but would love to sort of hear, what made you get involved and why really with starting it.
I don't want to say I was involved in an MLM because I wasn't technically, but I did join 3 of them over a course of 4 years. And then after 72 hours of joining each of them, I quit 72 hours after signing up. So
No way.
I knew something was off and I just trusted my gut, thank goodness. And I got out and never actually tried and never actually did the business or anything like that. But the reason why I wanted to start this type of content is, one, I love true crime so much. I love, investigative journalism.
Yes, I love
not
that
claiming
too.
to be a journalist at all, but when like all the shutdowns and everything first happened, and I actually had gotten laid off from my job in sales in last March, and so I was laid off for like 2 months, and I started just falling down like all the true crime rabbit holes, and then also Kiki Chanel's videos as well, and then a bunch of other ones that were, a little bit more on like the deep dive side of that. And so I started watching all those, and over the past few years, I have seen so many Monat girls all over Tampa, not in person, but on
Thank God.
on Instagram. And so I just kept seeing them, and I was like, you know what, like I need to make a video about this and just about how it's all fake. So I did my first deep dive video, and it was about Monat, and then I wasn't even planning on doing more really. I just wanted to get that out there, and it did really well. And other people just kept reaching out to me, and so I realized there's a story to be told here, and I need to be able to give people a voice. And when people are scammed, they're embarrassed, they don't want to talk about it. And that's one of the reasons why the MLM industry is so successful, is because people don't talk about their failures openly with it.
Definitely.
Yes, so true. It took us a while, didn't it, to talk about our MLM
It does,
failures.
because you're so like, you are so shut down, whether your mentors tell you or not, to not speak out about it. I mean, I sort of had a little bit of don't make a song and dance about it when I left, which is quite funny to look back on it now that we have a podcast.
We've made the biggest song and dance.
You have to, I think, and I really.
Well, I actually want to ask. Oh, go on. What were you going to say, Tash? I think it lagged then.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear anything.
Tash?
You speak. I didn't say anything. You'll go.
Oh, right. I was just going to say this Monat company. What is that? American company?
Yes,
it is. And what does it sell? What kind of products do they sell?
I believe they're coming out with a new line this year, but they do hair care, and then they got skincare, and then last year they started selling wellness products too.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh,
And it's
right,
a
'cause I've never
company
heard
that's
of-
got quite a lot of lawsuits against them for hair falling out, I
Yeah,
believe.
that and false advertisement and things like that too.
Yeah, so it's really not good at all. No.
Oh my God.
Do you want to go in?
Did you say, yeah, well, did you say something? Because I think it lagged earlier. I don't know if you were talking. No? Okay, right. I'll go to the next question. Okay, so what exactly is double speak, Chelsea? Because I've heard like a little bit of your videos on YouTube, and you mentioned it, and I don't really know too much about it, so I'd love to know more about what that means.
Yeah, so that's basically just the more so the psychological term when it comes to the contradictions. And so what just a good example is join my team, be your own boss. Well, how am I being my own boss if I'm joining your team? And then time freedom, I hate time freedom. Time freedom, do this in pockets of time. And then, once you get into the MLM, you're realizing, you have to work all the time to actually be able to make any money whatsoever. So there's a lot of really good examples of that. And it's just, I mean, any post you see, you will literally see a bunch of examples of it. And it's just the contradictions. And that's why I always tell people, and I've been starting to say it more in my videos, is if you just look at what they're saying and think about it for like more than 2 minutes and just like peel back one layer, you'll see that their entire argument or their entire pitch, this entire facade just starts to crumble and fall apart.
Literally.
Yeah.
And why do you think it is used so much? Do you think it is just a full out manipulation tactic to get people in?
Yeah, it's selling the dream. People, it's the be your own boss, but I want you to join my team so I get, credit for it and I can get paid on that instead of someone like going to someone else. But yeah, it's just the selling the dream to people who are vulnerable, people who are missing that something in their life and wanting to, have more friends or better themselves in some way, or it's usually always make more money, have something for themselves. And that's what these people are really taking advantage of. And so the double speak is just a way for them to do that, along with all of the other manipulation tactics.
Yeah,
completely.
so it's just like a massive contradiction, everything that they're saying.
Yeah, but
I
that's
agree.
the thing too, though, is that and I always make this clear as well, even though, hey, I'm going to roast everyone, I don't care. I roast myself as well, right? I mean, me and my husband always say that's like a healthy part of marriage, is just roasting each other. And it is.
Yeah.
But the thing is that not everyone who's, posting these things or manipulating people or recruiting people, not all of them realize they're doing it. And that's the thing about being brainwashed. I mean, even you, Tosh, you like you said, you were so deep in it, you didn't know you were doing all these things. And then once you get out of it, or once you take off the rose-colored glasses, you start to see all the red flags. When you have, I always have one with
props.
That is so good. We need to get one.
Yeah, one of my subscribers sent me a pack of 25. I was like, girl, I only needed one.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That's amazing.
It's a lot. Yeah.
We need some red flags.
No, literally, you said it so well. Like, only now, and I mean, still, we like signed off October, having been in it for 1.5 years, and only still now am I sort of realizing. And I think actually I had a really big realization. Even when you leave, it's I've left my MLM, not like I've closed my business or I've stopped doing that business anymore. It's I've left. I've just I've chosen to step away. Even that language there is like shows it wasn't. Of course, it wasn't our business.
It definitely wasn't. God, I remember how many times would we say it was our business, and now it's like so embarrassing to even say that. It was never our business.
And you can just hear that double speak, and your video really just solidified it. That's what it is, and what we're all brainwashed and conditioned to think it is, just to keep us in. And actually, on top of that, especially with your background in sales, would you say that actually you really are just a glorified salesperson, but you're just not getting paid properly?
Yes. Well, I mean, that's not even glorified. I mean, that's what they are, is that they are independent, contracted distributors. They are distributing, they are selling the product from themselves to the person via this company. But and a lot of people will say, oh, you know, that's just a sales tactic. And I'm like, no. And I make sure I say, you know, okay, you know, this is a good sales tactic. This isn't blah, blah, but the fact of the matter is that you can be a great salesperson without the emotional manipulation that these people do. Like, it is crazy. And then with sales, you know, there were in 2019, I made $120,000 in sales that year. And I hardly posted any videos on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I posted like 4, and I've been doing YouTube since 2016, but that year I hardly posted any just because I was working so much. I would work like 11-hour days every single day, Monday through Friday, but that's worth it because I'm being compensated. And I sometimes if you hit like a certain amount of sales like per week or per month or per pay period or whatever, you would get overtime, and I don't even know how the company did it. Oh my, it was amazing. They definitely overpaid us with that. But you'd get overtime, and since we weren't paid hourly technically, but it was great. I loved it. And then the year before that as well, I mean, I've always been someone who is, you know, head down and grinds. I don't want to say like hustle culture, because I definitely think it's important to have a work-life balance, but with an MLM, it's not just the, you know, sales mentality, because realistically, for instance, I always say I always tell anyone, if you ever want to get into sales, go follow Sales Humor on Instagram, and you won't want to get into sales, because you'll see that we're all miserable and overworked and just so depressed and hate our managers and like our little friends that we have at work sometimes, but we're happy like the day we get paid, and then like for a week after that, and then we're depressed again. But that's the difference between real sales and being in an MLM, because being in an MLM, it's all that emotional manipulation of, this is the best, I love it so much. And that's why I just couldn't stand it. I was like,
so
this
fake,
like y'all aren't doing sales. Like, that's why this is a cult and not like what I've always done. Like, we were all always like realistic about it. We're like, yeah, this fucking blows and I hate it. However, I'm getting paid a lot, so I'm gonna complain, but I'm gonna stay still.
I'll stay for the money. Yeah,
exactly.
So true.
Right? And it's
so
like,
true.
what are we staying for? Because we're not getting any money, and it's just fake bullshit. Like, it's just a fake facade.
It's also and this is where it comes upon, which I'm starting to really think about, especially I feel like there's a new documentary we need to watch, and I feel like it's almost true, like MLM's becoming modern day slavery.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, we really actually were involved in like a technological, if that's even a word, form of slavery, because we didn't get paid, but we got imaginary whipped, you know, into shape, and we had to do XYZ. We had to go on the Zoom calls, we had to do all of this, but in the most fake and brainwashed way. And I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you're marketing for free. I mean, think about it. They hardly have to pay anything for marketing. And don't get me wrong, you know, a lot of companies now are realizing social media is, I mean, it's free, right? So their marketing campaigns and stuff like that are a lot cheaper with, you know, influencer marketing worked into it. So they're realizing, you know, forget about magazines and commercials and all that. We're just going to use influencers and the, you know, social media. But now with MLMs, their marketing is the distributor, and they're marketing it for free basically. But that's also tricky because it is a closed market. I mean, I'm sure y'all can speak to it. I mean, how many of your followers were also in that same MLM? I'm sure it's probably a lot.
Well, most of them have blocked us now.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Yeah, they don't like when you
talk negatively about it.
No,
I mean, not even negatively, just when you bring the truth to it, and they want to be able to filter out and control the information that's being not only shown to them, but that's being shared to their downline as well.
So would you say that's like a cult trait, blocking people out?
It is, for sure. That's something in the BITE model, is controlling information. And that's why I think it's so funny that someone actually sent to me. So this girl joined Monat, and she was only in it for a week. She got her orientation orientation documents, basically like the PDF they send out. And it said who to follow. And then she got a message from her upline, and it said, and this is who you need to block.
No way. I've
Wait,
And
never
guess
heard
who
that
was
before.
on it?
You were on it.
No.
So that's why whenever
Oh my
people
God.
whenever people send me stuff, I have a little like a little quick reply in my direct messages on Instagram. And I'm sure so many people have gotten this from me, but it's literally just a canned message I have, and I type out blocked, and then it turns blue, and then I click it, and the message types out and it says, hey, that person actually has me blocked, so I can't see that. That's why I always suggest to send a screenshot or a screen recording, and it has a little heart. And
That's
Way.
there's a
crazy.
few people who have gotten that from me like 3 times, and they're like, this girl just started selling. How does she already have you blocked? And I'm like, they tell a lot
That is
of
a huge red
a
flag.
lot of them tell them to. But I will give props to a few of the girls who have been in my videos and they haven't blocked me. So I actually am like, props to them. I mean,
Yeah,
sure, they're
that's
manipulating
good.
people,
Hats
but
off.
they don't block, the anti-MLM creators or other commentary channels, which
God.
is good. I like that.
Yeah,
Gosh, I
definitely.
really hope we get on that list. I hope we
Yeah,
do.
it means
Yeah,
we made it.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the moments. My husband asked me the other day, I was like, he was like, what are your 3 like I've made it moments? And I was like, all right. I was like, are you ready? My Monat girls, which now I am, getting on the PR list for Kiss products, which are my favorite nails and my favorite lashes, which I got that email last week, and then being right.
Yes.
I almost cried. And then getting sponsored by HelloFresh, which hasn't happened, but yeah,
It's on its way.
It's
on
going
its
to
way.
happen.
2 out of 3.
It's on its way.
The delivery is on its way.
Yeah, that's really good. Get over that you're on a blocked list. I cannot believe that they would send out a PDF document. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's
that's taken it to a whole new level.
Well, and that's what the girl
Literally.
said, because she's like, I can understand these are the people you need to follow, for like not advice, but like they share good tips, or like these are the type of people you should, model stuff after. And I agree with that. I like that, right? One of the girls in Monat, I forgot her like full name, but her nickname is Dramus or Dre. And she actually does, pretty good trainings for like social media and stuff. And she'll teach you how to do reels and teach you how to do other stuff on social media. And I was like, yeah, of course she's on there. Like she does good trainings for that. That also doesn't diminish the fact that she is very self-help guru-esque, and like it's very, very manipulative, and it's crazy. She's also likable though. So it's very like, it doesn't, just because someone's likable and not, this evil figure.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's the devil, and sent me that. She didn't post me, the whole document, but, or like the other screenshots and stuff. And I was like, I understand, that's fine. Block these people, like that's weird. So then she went and watched all my videos, and she's like, that was the moment that I canceled everything, got a refund. Like I'm trying to control the information that I was receiving, and that, like you suggested, it is a cult tactic, is controlling the information that's coming from the outside, or any opposing ideas or ideals or anything.
Yeah,
it's so mad.
Like
and I find sorry, Nick, the one thing that I find so crazy about this whole blocky thing when you leave is like, when you're in it, you're so pushed to share your story, especially when you like get, rank up, and we did relatively okay, and so we kept pushed. I did calls in front of like 500 people to talk about my story, but then as soon as you leave and share your honest truth, it's blah 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 blah, 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 blah. It's so funny. I find it so fascinating, the psychology behind it.
Yep, it's a family and friends and such a tight-knit group, but then once you speak out against anything and actually show, hey, this isn't okay, I don't want you to be taken advantage of or anything like that. But think about that, like if it wasn't an MLM, if I worked for a company for Ideal Image. I worked for them for a long time, and they do like laser hair removal and stuff like that. But if I left and then told my friend who was there, if I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it wasn't good for me, like I don't like, what was happening within the company. And, I kind of, woke up kind of, that would be so unhealthy if just all of them blocked me. Like that would be so weird. And then also on the other side of that, if you're still working for the company and someone was like, oh, I don't like, a service I got done there, or I don't like a product they sell, or, if you work at a McDonald's or something and someone's like, oh, y'all's fries are not as good as Chick-fil-A's fries. What am I going to start yelling at the person and tell them that they're dumb or they don't know anything?
You're negative.
It's other people's preferences, or it's just so strange that they go so hardcore for a company that just sees them as a dollar sign.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I would love to know what is like the worst like horror MLM story you've ever came across. Because I saw on your videos like you have these like playlists, don't you, of like people sending their stories of the worst MLM horror stories. I would love to know like what is the worst one?
There's a lot of them. But one that comes to mind is there's actually a few that come to mind.
They're so quite shocking, aren't they?
I've done so many of those videos.
They're so shocking.
Yeah, so I'd say there was one about ACN, and that company is literally a cult. This guy was like working for free. He didn't make any money, and he was like traveling all over. And he said that he actually, his name's Russ. He's amazing. He was on Roberta Blevins' podcast, Life After MLM. If you, she's the queen. She's amazing. So he's actually on hers, and I didn't, because I was interviewed for her podcast too, and I didn't realize that he was as well. And so when I read his story off on my channel, there were a bunch of people who were like, "Oh my God, he was on Roberta's podcast." And I was like, "Oh my God, what? I had no idea." So it was fun to hear his like more in-depth version of the story as well. And her podcast was amazing. But he sent me a like 3-page long email about his time in ACN, and he was basically working for free. He traveled all over, and he said he went to this conference, and there was this person who was like higher up in the ranks, and he went up to the person and he was like, "Hey, like, I just want to tell you, your speech was amazing. Like, you're so well spoken." And the person who he was talking to like looked at him and it was like, "Who is your upline? Like, who are you?" Basically like disgusted that he would even speak to him. And then I guess Russ like went to his upline or someone or his upline's upline. I don't fucking know. And said, he was like, "I'm basically just disgusted with the situation. Like, why would he act like that? Like, that's so rude." And the lady told him, she was like, "How dare you speak to him? Only established people at a certain rank can even address him or talk to him." And I think that was one of the ones where I was just like, this is a cult. Like, what? Like, could you imagine treating someone like that? You just got done speaking at an event and someone comes up to you and is like, "That was so amazing," like blah, blah. Like, that's why you're there afterwards, to talk to people. Like, it's just to network. The entitlement. Exactly, right? But that's not really why they're there. They're there to, continue to brainwash people so that they work harder and stay in it and all that. That's 100%. The only reason these companies have the like conferences or anything like that.
That's horrible. That is disgusting. I remember going to a conference as well with Tash. Remember, me and you went, and one of the top leaders there, like even I felt so nervous to speak to her. And like when I did like go up to get my like medal or whatever it was, like she
gratification,
kind of just, craving that gratification. Like she was just like, didn't even say one word to me, just like give you a weird look. I was just like, what am I doing?
And that just shows as well. That shows the idolization, doesn't it, of those certain people.
Like the leader.
So weird. So weird. So weird. Like that. I mean, the equivalent to that, if we were actually to, even bring that, like, or try to do the comparison again of like actual sales for a legitimate company to an MLM, like the people above you are just salespeople as well. So that would be like, I've been the top performer many times. I'm usually always within the top 20 or top 10 any sales position I'm in. And that would be like someone new coming in and like shadowing me or sitting with me or even talking to me, and me just being like, "That's gross. Don't do that. How dare you speak to me?" Like, I could not imagine speaking to someone like that. Like, that's disgusting.
It's not
It's so
human.
Mean Girls. It's like literally living in Mean Girls, the movie. It's like, don't sit with us.
I can't stand it. It's so rude,
Either.
so belittling, and no one deserves to be talked to like that.
It definitely
Completely
sounds like a
agree.
cult, doesn't it?
Yeah. They are. Why do you think that these are able to go ahead? You know, I know we all talk about like pyramid schemes, and everyone will always say, God, including me and Nicola, I hold my hands up, I said it so many times. You know, why do we think that, yeah, of course pyramid schemes aren't illegal, but why are MLMs allowed to keep going on?
So that and we even, I don't know if y'all attended the MLM education conference that we had last Friday and Saturday. It was amazing. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think they're making it public. I should be either this week or next week. They had like compile everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll share it somewhere, either on my page. I'll probably share it on Instagram actually, but it was so good. And there were a lot of, guest speakers, and there was actually a panel from the FTC and economists and people from attorney general's offices from different states, and people from Ireland and like Italy, like different Canada, different countries as well, which was awesome. And basically the entire thing boils down to when in 1975, when the FTC went against Amway and basically proved like, hey, it's oversaturated, like this is the failure rate, and all these people are losing money. They came to court with that and thought they were gonna win the case because they had won a bunch of other ones that were literally the exact same situation, just not as big as Amway, because Amway is very, very involved in the government here, which sucks. Like they have a lot of money. The owners are billionaires. It is God. It in some of the richest old white people they are dinosaurs. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh God. As a white person, I don't claim them, but ew, they suck. So that because of that, Amway came back and they were like, and obviously this is very paraphrased and very casual, but they were like, oh no, we have these Amway rules that prove that we're not a pyramid scheme. These rules were not written anywhere. They were not in any documentation. They were just like known apparently, which basically means they were just made up on the spot. So there were these Amway rules, and from there, the judge ruled in Amway's favor. The judge was also like basically corrupt as well, because he was in the pockets of the people who own Amway, which was really messed up. And then from there, it all just went downhill, because then there were a couple other cases that the FTC lost, where the people basically just said the same thing as Amway. They're like, no, we have these rules in place and we follow this, this, and this. Therefore, we're not, a pyramid scheme, which it's bullshit. But a lot of people say, and this is a little loosey-goosey, but we even talked about in that educational seminar, conference, whatever, how all of us basically have the definition of a pyramid scheme, where if your income is, and a keyword there is primarily, coming from the recruitment of but wording is so important, and we can't use the word primarily. Basically, it sucks. It's very strange, and basically just legalities and money.
It sounds way more corrupt than I ever thought, which is really sad.
It is. It definitely is. But also, I personally believe, and this is of my own opinion, let me give my disclaimer. This is of my own opinion. I do not speak for anyone in the anti-MLM movement, the FTC, the Florida Attorney General's office at all. But I do believe that, especially with Monat and a couple others, they are collecting a lot of information, a lot of evidence, and they are going to be bringing them, the ones that are big right now, at least in the US, they're going to be bringing them down within the next 10 years. But
really,
the thing is, they can't just, I have a lot of people say, well, why can't the FTC just do something about it? And it's like, you can't just you got one shot. You need it to be able to hold up, and you have to be able to, without a doubt, be able to shut it down completely, or we're going to have another Amway situation.
And when you say shut it down, do you think that would be across like hopefully the industry, or do you think it will have to be company by company?
As in the company?
It would have to be company by company, because for instance, that one company, Herbalife, they had to be restructured because they were seen as a pyramid scheme. Basically, they were found to be a pyramid scheme. So they said, like, listen, you have to restructure, or else, basically, again, I'm paraphrasing, but you're going to be shut down. So they restructured to where it now is all about products instead of recruiting. So you're paid basically the same for both, kind of. But now that's why they're having all these nutrition shops, and you're seeing these Herbalife, independently owned juice shops or smoothie places or whatever, and those are just a money pit. Everyone I've talked to, I've interviewed when I say 4 of the Herbalife Nutri shops owners or previous owners, and they've all said, it's a money pit. It sucks. They're basically a front for recruiting, and that's it.
That is so scary.
Interesting. It is so scary. Well, also, just to sort of end off, we really wanted to ask you, like, what advice would you give someone who no longer wants to be involved but is kind of scared to leave, like most of us are? Unfortunately, you do get that feeling of being scared to leave. So those listening who are in that bracket, what would you say to them?
I would say that you are not alone. I know you feel like you're alone because these people have isolated you, and that's how they keep you in as well. But those are all surface level and fake friendships. And I know it's embarrassing to, go back to your family or your friends that maybe you had blocked, or maybe, had tried to tell you the truth about this, and, maybe you cut them off, or you're not as close to them anymore. If you go to them and tell them the truth, 80% of the time, they are going to be super understanding. They're going to, be happy to have you back. And also, though, another thing is, if you live in the US or anywhere, please contact the, correct authority or correct office, because just by, sharing my story or your story with me or another creator or a podcast, yes, that's great. And that raises awareness, but that doesn't get anything done. So we need to, make sure that the authorities are being contacted, and you are, telling your story of how this is very dangerous. This is how much money I lost. This is how, unethical and manipulative this is. And also on the other side of that too, a lot of people think, well, or the company's going to come after me if I do that. They're not going to know that it's specifically you that went to the Attorney General's office, or whatever type of organization you have in your country, or the FTC. And also, if you are being, your information is being used along with others as well to, bring action towards these organizations, then you're protected by, the FTC or the, state attorney office or anything like that, right? They're not just going to not protect you. That would be really messed up. So I think it's important to just know that you're not alone. You're more than a $sign. And once you decide to get out, don't talk to your upline. Call customer service, cancel everything, and do not talk to your upline, because they're going to tell you anything and everything that they can to keep you in, because you're affecting their paycheck if you quit.
Literally.
So true.
So true.
They try and manipulate you, don't they, to keep you in.
Yeah, I had some very interesting messages, but no, so true. Literally nailed it. Thank you so much. And again, those listening, we are here, and there's so many creators when you look out it. Type in anti-MLM on YouTube, and my goodness, you are in heaven. I can tell you that. Yeah. I found my heaven.
Just do your research. It is a great movement to be a part of.
Definitely.
It really is.
Where can people find you, Chelsea, on YouTube?
So across all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, I am CC Suarez, and then on YouTube, I am just CC Suarez on YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah, everyone definitely go give her a follow. Watch your videos; they are really good.
The best. You're hilarious, and your wigs and everything.
Yeah, all all my wigs, I have them like scattered around.
Oh yeah, I
my-
can see them.
I love that.
There's
they're
one
great.
right here.
Yes, I love
love
that one. And I
it.
love the red wig. I think you look great in the red wig.
Thank you. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's great. I love that. I almost want to get into that. It's like,
I know,
you
I'm
know,
in.
different personalities.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Do it. They're fun.
Thank you
Perfect.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
This has been amazing.
You're very welcome, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank
No
you.
worries. Thank you.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.